So basically, this whole technique is called side drifting for steelhead. What we're doing is we're going to be floating about this speed right here, a little bit slower than the speed of current. And when we cast, we're using long leaders. These are 6-foot leaders, okay? What you don't want is swinging your rod side to side when we cast. These long leaders, gotta be real careful, because what happens is somebody can end up getting a hook in the eye, okay? So when we cast, we just want to flip them straight over like this, okay? You don't want to swing side to side, somebody get a hook in the eye. We don't want that, obviously. So when we cast, what we're going to do is when everybody's ready, we're going to stand up. I always cast first, okay? Flip your bail straight up, hold the line up, flip the bail over, flip it straight behind you. We're going to be fishing both sides of the river, not at the same time, but we'll switch back and forth each side of the river. When we cast, we want to cast at a 45-degree angle upriver, okay? We never want to cast straight out, and obviously never back behind the boat. We always want to cast at a 45 upriver, and then as soon as your bait hits the water, you want to flip your bail over. So we cast upriver like this, bait hits the water, flip your bail over, and then you just let it ride, okay? When you feel your lead ticking bottom, you're gonna feel your lead tick, 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 because your lead's gonna be dragging bottom. The worst thing you can do is be jerking on everything you feel. That you don't want to do, okay? So when we're floating down the river, you're gonna feel your line ticking bottom, taking bottom. When a steelhead grabs it, it's gonna almost feel like a rubber band at the end of your rod. There'll be no mistaking. He'll grab it, he's gonna pull, be almost like somebody yanking on a rubber band at the end of your rod. Be that stretchy, givey, that's the steelhead, and 9 times out of 10 when they grab your bait, they're gonna blow up out of the water anyway. So when you set the hook on a steelhead, you want to set the hook hard. You don't want to just be lifting up. You should hear your rod, hear that whip sound. That's how hard you want to set the hook, okay? These are long, limber, 9.5-foot rods. That's what they're designed for, okay? If you just lift up a little bit, you're not going to get that hook in the fish. They call them steelhead for a reason. They got a really hard head, hard face, a hard mouth. So when you set the hook, you want to set the hook hard. When you have a fish on, another really important thing, and it goes back to experience on fighting fish. The worst thing you can do is when you have a steelhead on and he's peeling line, worst thing you can do is just reel and reel and reel and reel and reel and reel. What that does is that twists your line up on your reel. So when a steelhead is running, you let him run. And when he stops running, you lift up, you reel down, you lift up. That's how you fight a fish, is you lift up, you reel down, and when he takes off running, let him go. When he stops running, lift up, reel down. It's called pumping a fish to a boat. The next most important thing is when you're fighting a fish, always, you gotta remember, your boat is the worst enemy on the water. And what I mean by that is the line touching the boat. When you're fighting a fish, I'll guarantee you he's gonna go underneath the boat. You got a 9.5-foot rod, you wanna use it. Put the rod down in the water. He goes underneath the boat, steelhead's blowing up over here, but you're over here fighting the fish, put your rod down in the water. I'll spin the boat around to prevent that, but I can't move this boat fast as a fish. So when he goes underneath the boat, the worst thing you do is have your rod up, right? If he goes underneath the boat, drop your rod. So if you hear me, put your rod in the water, put your rod in the water, I'm not yelling at you. I'm trying to keep you from losing your fish, okay? So if he goes underneath the boat, you want to put your rod in the water, keep your line from touching the boat. If this line touches the boat, it's just like taking a knife to it. Ain't no different. That line touches the boat, loaded up with that much weight on there, they'll pop it every time. Every time. So, keeping a tight line on a fish, don't let the line touch the boat. And when he's taking off, making a hard run, you don't want to be reeling, it'll twist all the line up on the reel. Okay? So, and when we cast, what we want to do is when we cast, as soon as my bait hits the water, the next guy is going to cast above me, the next guy will cast above him, and so forth. Okay, so when we're going down through, you want the bait, my bait's going to hit the water, we want the next bait to hit the water, the next bait, the next bait, the next bait, and we'll come right on down through the drift as we're floating down the river right through the hole. So when we get it all down, and when you guys get it all, you know, you see how it's all going, we all stand up in the center of the boat. That's another thing, is we don't want to all be sitting on one side of the boat, because then the boat's sitting like this floating down the river and it won't float right. So keeping the boat flat, floating down the river, and all the baits hitting the water accordingly, it'll make way less tangle ups and a lot better successful day.
Nice.
Okay, now we're going to run upriver. We're going to run quite a ways upriver, all the way up to Merwin Dam, and see what today brings.
Nice.
Every day's a different day.
Thank you for watching that video. For more information, please visit www.columbiariverfishingguide.com, or feel free to call us at 360-910-6630. Thank you for watching.